design or design. My name is Maria and this video is about the fashion trends, particularly about the bags that are going to be popular this fall winter. I know it's already fall. I'm sorry. I'm doing my best. But as they say, better late than never. On this channel, I analyze runway trends, and this is the information where I get these trends from by evaluating how much of a certain item there was on the runways, or maybe by which brand it was presented, which may have a little bit of a bigger voice on the trends. But honestly, the trendsetters are you guys, whoever chooses to participate in that trend. My job is only to kind of pinpoint, highlight, show you guys where the tendency is going, and then you decide what you'll do with that. But let's start from the beginning. We see a lot of tendencies of the brands styling bags as clutches, even though they have their handles or they're kind of like an oversized bag that would not normally be worn as a clutch. But on the runways, we see plenty of examples. Like for instance here, this is a tiny bag. Yes, it could be considered a clutch, but it has a handle, yet the model is holding it as a clutch. And a clutch is a necessary item. Like I can't really say that it's a trend for a fact, because like depending on your outfits, you might need a clutch because you don't want anything bulky with it. But here you can see that the clutches are being brought in so many different shapes and sizes. Maybe it's like an oversized wallet, or maybe it's even a slouchy oversized bag, as I mentioned. Maybe it's a classical clutch with like a decorated opening. Maybe it's a shoe, like the example of Balenciaga, or a motorcycle glove, again Balenciaga. Here in Loewe, we see the regular bag being carried as a clutch. Here Gucci as well, that is looking like a pierogi bag here, but it also has a handle. You can totally wear it as a handle, but no, designers are choosing to show their work being held as clutches. Here we see the Maison Margiela, almost a pillow-esque bag being held under the arm like a clutch. We see more examples of this in Bottega Veneta, where they're quite known for their bags. Victoria Beckham had more of like a business briefcase clutches even. Again, Dres Van Noten, also more of an oversized clutch effect. So I think the story is basically take your bags that you already have and stylize them as clutches instead of a top handle bag. At least that is what I'm getting from this. Another hot trend that is happening because of the Prada show is the wristlet bag. So they had basically added a really dramatic wristlet addition to all of their bags, having an alternative way of carrying it. Maybe you can just carry it as you usually would, having that little wristlet situation as like a keychain on the side. We also see quite a lot of these wristlets, kind of a bag, maybe it's a wallet or even a phone case in the Balenciaga show, which is quite cool, and I would actually really benefit from it because I constantly lose my phone. We also see on a smaller level bags like this from Victoria Beckham as well as from a show, which I really like. These are more a little bit on a bohemian side, which is quite popular at this moment. Okay, next one are the classic baguettes. We still see them on the runways, like here in D Squared, a little bit of a knitted versions. We also see it in Marine Serene, quite a few of them in Off-White, as well as Alaya, which I really love that structured Bottega Veneta here. and a few more shows. The Baguette bag, also otherwise known as East to West bag, essentially a long rectangular shaped silhouette, is experiencing a comeback this season. The long shaped bag has been a staple for multiple fashion designers, and like all things chic enough to have second and third and fourth lives, has found its way back to hearts through the brands that love nostalgia. They're quite minimal in nature, so they fit quite a lot of aesthetics, and they can fit quite a lot of things. Heading into more of a structured top handle bag, we've seen so many of these on the runways. They're very simple and really easy to introduce into your wardrobe and pair it with so many different outfits. I love the structured bags because whenever I'm feeling slouchy, I can just pick that up and kind of uplift my outfit a little bit from being a drag to, oh, maybe it's planned, you know what I mean? And we are getting creative with the handbags as well. Like here we see in Alexander McQueen, it has a metallic format with a bar. I'm not sure what the bar is there for. Balmain also has this handle being an architectural part of the bag. It's not just something that you hold on to. And we can see more examples of these kinds of interesting top handle bags. We see the shape of a bowling bag, part doctor bag. All right, let's move on to ladylike bags. We do see this trend coming forward of having more of ladylike outfits, maybe something a little bit more waisted, maybe a little bit something more floral. And we see this tendency coming into the accessories as well with the bags. Here we're seeing Annie Sui, bags made from vintage tapestry, lip closure on the bags, having a top handle and very structured, kind of a granny vibes. We also see this trend being carried over into Prada with more of feminine touches like floral designs on the bags, or maybe it's like little bows on the bags for texture as well. We also see this trend going into Alisab, which is a very feminine brand with more of those top handles. Dolce & Gabbana also had more of this lady, professional, really clean lines, maybe on something on a smaller side that you can only fit powder for your nose, maybe lipstick in a mirror kind of situation. This ladylike energy at Sandy Liang, models used both their gloved hands to parade small bag. These bags urge us to take a look back in the day when people just need a little pocketbook in order to survive the day. But let's go into the oversized trend. Yes, we still see these bags. Are they there just for us to talk about, for the brands to promote their brands? I'm not sure, but here they are. If you're looking for an overnight bag, then you're in luck. There are going to be plenty of those still. And I feel like these bags, they have a space, right? Some people need them and some people actually need them in order to balance out their shape. So I'm always thinking back to an example of Mary and Ashley twins, that they would wear these enormous bags in Y2K era, and they looked so tiny because of those bags, right? Because they're quite petite on their own. So for me, I feel like a golden rule would be match your size to the size of your bag. For instance, if you are smaller individual, then don't go for these crazy outrageous oversized bags just because they will make you look like a terrible child. If you are larger, then if you go for the small bag, it will only emphasize how big you are. So go for the size that kind of matches your stature. If you're a little on a bigger side, then go for medium to large bags. If you're on a smaller side, go from the smaller to medium bags. I hope I didn't offend anybody with those comments. And particularly these oversized bags were really slouchy. They were kind of a hobo bag, but like really lacking in any form. Like here we see in Chloe and we also seen in Bottega Veneta just now. I'm not sure if I'm loving this format at all. I feel like these bags are so difficult to find anything in. Like, how long is it gonna take for you to find your wallet or your keys in such an enormous slouchy bag? I prefer structure. I prefer pockets. That is the only way I can find where my lip gloss is while I'm driving. In the oversized department, we'll also see oversized duffel bags that are perfect for luggage, but this season you might even use it as an everyday bag. And if it has some really cool details, the more the better. We see quite a lot of bucket bags on the runways. Usually they're kind of like a leather type. Either you can scrunch it up or it's more of a actual bucket format depending on your personal style. I feel like it's maybe a little bit of a substitution to those pierogi bags that we've seen around. I quite like the Maison Margiela, more of a structured version. It has quite a unique look to it. Zimmerman had more of a flowy, more dramatic versions of those. Off-White even had kind of like a basketball net situation. I'm not sure if that's the ball or if that's the bag, but it is quite interesting. From Elisab, we'd have more of a makeup bag situation. Stella McCartney here continuing on with those chain-like bag. I love the Balmain examples of this. They actually had like a literal basket of fruits, which is really cool. I wonder if those are stuffed or is that the top lid of the bag? If you know that detail, let me know in the comments down below. We see that shopper net bag, but having a little bit more structure to it on having the bottom of it in leather, which I really love. We see this bucket bag from all over the runways, like in Dior, Etro, Louis Vuitton also had several of these bags, maybe more like a hat box kind of a thing, or maybe something on a smaller version. And of course, if mmmm has it, then it does have the potential to take up and go crazy. With oversized bags everywhere, micro bags feel like a true relic on runways past. The bucket bag though is making a comeback in the most bite-sized proportions. At Hewlett Johnson's dangled suede bucket bags, at Gucci the trend took a slightly different shape, a little bit more of a structured vintage makeup bag. The best thing about the look is how you can't just toss it over your shoulder. You have to fully present when wearing it. It's kind of a bag that demands everybody's attention, especially if it's in a really cool, unique shape. Next trend, the pocket trend. As I just mentioned, pockets are my best friend. Sections, yes. We have cargo situation. So having outside pockets on the bags, a little bit more organized, and the more the merrier. I feel like it's coming from the cargo pants that were quite popular, and in a blink of an eye they were gone, but now we see these in the bag formats. I particularly like the Chloe versions of these, and of course Balenciaga had to be a little bit different. They actually had a few outfits out of bags. Just wanted to mention that. All right, so we've seen the accessorized bags already for a couple of seasons. In some parts of the world, it's already overused. I haven't seen anybody doing it where I live, so I continue on doing it just because I like it. It's such an easy way to, bring some character to your bag. We can see this on the runways through use of chains, maybe like an additional belt of some sort. Maybe it's like a branded badge on there. Maybe it's studded. Maybe it has like a sort important like a hair clip or something on the strap. Here you're seeing Stella McCartney show with the chain kind of circling it and being on the edges of the bag, which is also kind of accessorizing it. We also see kind of studded bags like here in Roberta Cavalli as well as Alexander McQueen. Schiaparelli had more of decorated bags with their eyes and noses, maybe a little bit something more sculpturized. Even sometimes the bag itself becoming an additional accessory, not like what you need to wear, but something that is just an art piece to look at. Like here in Alexander McQueen, we have this drop egg situation that looks like a work of art on its own. And in Balmain, we have several of these kind of smaller clutches. So let's head into texture. And this is definitely something that we've seen a lot of on runways. And the first one that I would like to talk to you about is the emotional support bag. Not animal, a bag, yes. We have so many furry, fuzzy bags on the runways that you're like, why is it here? Maybe it is emotional support. Like whenever I'm wearing something super textured, I'm always touching it. I'm like always petting it. I'm always playing with it. So maybe it is the reason why it's so relevant on the runways right now. We see brands like Yves Saint Laurent. We see this in Dres Van Noten, so many outfits with different colors, and oh my gosh, love it. Not the most useful thing. It does bring a really cool texture to your outfit, but the fact of the matter is you're always carrying your bag and you always need to put it down, you know, like washroom situation, washing your hands. There's always like splatter of whatever liquids around, and sometimes you need to put it on the ground. Maybe somebody will think it's a dog and, you know, snatch it and walk away, and oh no, there's a wallet inside, you know. But anyways, really cool idea of it. I'm not sure how practical it is. Here in Goma we see these enormous feathered bags. Oh my gosh, really cool looking. How practical it is, I don't know. Fashion shouldn't be practical. That's a type of art form. So we see more of that, maybe like a teddy bear on several occasions, like J.W. Anderson. We also see here in Diesel more like a lighter version of that furry, which might be a little bit more sustainable for us regular people, and that is actually something we can work with. We also see like in Givenchy a little bit of just like edges, details in the fur, not quite the entire bag involved in that. We also see other types of textures, maybe like little feathers. Maybe we see a really heavy cable knit bag. Don't think it's quite knitted just because I don't think it would hold its shape as well. Here we see again more of that yarn type situation. These could be quite dangerous. You can catch on so many things with that. And Lanvin also had these interesting drawings in the form of like a carpet texture. Prada once again had. Are those feathers or are those like leather details? I'm not quite sure. All right, the next texture that I want to talk to you about is fringe. We see so much fringe coming through that Western boho trend, and we see a little bit of more of a luxurious fringe as well, like here in Ferragamo show, more of those feathers coming back, but more of in a fringy way. Isabelle Marant is the perfect example of what I was talking about, like a Western boho theme. I quite like it. I really like a fringe on a bag. I feel like it's a great placement for it. And it's fun. I think it's a little bit more manageable than a furry thing. For instance, if it's like made of leather or something, you can at least wash it, like wipe it clean. I feel like in that fur, like there's so much potential of like gunk being stuck in there and you would never take it out. Bottega Veneta had more of a texture of maybe even straw on their bags. All I'm thinking of like how much is gonna be hanging on your outfit and not the most pleasant thing to reach into your bag, if you know what I mean. One of the top wearable trends for texture on the bags is suede. Maybe think of something that has a flat finish of regular leather on the bottom just to protect it a little bit more, and the sides of it in suede like we were seeing in Altuzara just now, or maybe like little legs on the bottom of the bag. But we seem to see it everywhere, and there's quite a lot of this in the outerwear as well, so something that you can pay attention to. Not sure if a full bag in suede is the way to go, just because it is a little bit more on a finicky side. For instance, it doesn't like to be wet. It can get those water damage marks on it. So if you're thinking for shoes and you're living in a wetter climate, then maybe substitute it for a bag. This finish is a little bit more matte, so it does give your outfit a different look to it, a different texture. We see a lot of examples of it in Miu Miu Show, as well as in Balmain and JW Anderson. But let's move on to shiny. I love shiny. We love shiny. They're still here with us. A little bit on a different side, not quite just the white crystallized versions that we've seen in the previous seasons. We see more of a textured, maybe sequins on the bags. Maybe it's crystals, but a little bit different, not the generic thing. And as I mentioned, like having metal clasps on there, like here in Louis Vuitton men's show. Let's move on to multibagging. This is something that we've seen already, and I've picked up on it quite a long time ago, but now we're actually seeing it happening in real life. Like people going to shows now have multiple bags. I quite like this idea as having like maybe one small bag with all your necessary things like wallet, keys, a phone, and then a larger bag. I'm going to school. I'm gonna go my bag with all my books. Additionally, with my smaller bag. Or if I'm going to the gym, I'm just substituting that large bag for a different large bag. That is really convenient. But let's face it, on the runways, this is just another way of selling more bags for these brands. So if that is not something that you're interested in, that is not something that will bring you help of multi-bagging, then just ignore this trend. I like it for my personal reasons, but I actually don't really have a set of bags that would look really good together, unfortunately. But anyways, another thing that I wanted to point out is the undercover. They are bringing the shopper bag, not the fancy shopper bag, but like the plastic ones. I feel like maybe they're like being nostalgic for the old time where we could carry plastic bags around with us, but here we are multi-bagging. One bag, like a purse, and then whatever is in that shopper. I think those are wine bottles. Maybe they're also alcoholic. Like here we see a really large, humongous bag, and then additional crossbody and additional clutch. Another big trend that we're seeing, not just in bags, but in everything else, is the animal print. We see it often and we see it a lot. So if you have something in the animal print bag format, take it out. It's time to wear it now. We see a lot of leopard print, and in some places leopard print is already going out because it was just overused. Everybody just jumped on it right away. So think about maybe less conventional animal prints like zebra, cow print, what else is there? Tiger print, something a little bit different. But you know what? Animal print is a classic print. So I guess if you do love that cheetah print or leopard print, then go ahead, wear it out. And these bags were worn in multiple different aesthetics. Here you can see Diesel being a little bit more edgy, a little bit more like next generation. Isabel Marant had reptile skin with more of a Western feel to it. We also see here in Loewe having more of that texture of reptile skin. We see in the leopard print being a little bit more feminine and powerful in Versace and other shows. I feel like whatever your aesthetic is, you can definitely find inspiration from all of these different shows. And here, as I mentioned, Louis Vuitton, cow print, love it. And always bags are a perfect way to dip your toes into a certain trend, maybe the one that you are not sure about, like for instance the leopard print, and just try to incorporate it with your outfit. If you like it, that's great. You can continue, maybe find another piece that you can wear with it or separately, but it is definitely a really safe and easy way to get into a certain trend that you always wanted to try. And of course, the tote bag isn't going anywhere. I feel like it is such a comfortable shape and size for people to use that it is a no-brainer. Just think about the colors that are popular right now, the textures that are popular right now, and go from there. If we're talking about colors, I've already made a video about it, but let me give you a hint. There's two really popular colors right now, and it's chocolate brown and olive green. If you're thinking of something in between, go ahead. Also, the deep burgundy wine color is still relevant, so if you have bought it last season, it is still popular today. The way of carrying these bags, once again, you can see some of the models carrying them as if it were a clutch, which is really interesting. Some of them are a little bit more structured, like there are actually leather totes, and others are, you know, as totes would be.
And finally, I wanted to mention the super realistic bag trend that we've seen, the trickling in from J.W. Anderson's pigeon purse. We see this in Loewe as well as in Moschino. Those bread baguettes aren't actually bread, they are clutches, as well as this garlic. Pretty cool. Seen it all over Instagram.
Anyways, you guys, this completes the video on the bags. Hopefully I will come out with my last video for this season's talking about the clothes themselves. I really appreciate your patience. I'm so close to finishing my degree where I could take more time creating those videos for you. If you have watched the full video to this part, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Now, if you could do me a favor, like this video, maybe leave me a nice little comment down below for the algorithm. The more comments I get, the more I'm eager to start a new video. If you're curious to see how I try to take inspiration from the runways into my everyday looks, check out my Instagram page where I try to share my daily outfits if I go out. But other than that, I hope you're having an amazing time, and yeah, stay classy. Bye.